And good morning. Recording this meeting. Welcome everybody to the 2023 Peacock App Annual Homeowners Meeting. Hopefully our last on the Zoom. Maybe next year we can all get together in person again. But this seemed like the most efficient way to do it this year, so we can check in with everybody, give a little report and feedback on what we've been up to as a community this year, and meet some new people, get some new feedback, and hopefully get some new ideas going forward. So good morning. Thank you for attending. As is often with online meetings, this will be watched by many after the fact. So we will appreciate those who are here and try to make it interesting for those who watch later. So good morning. I'm Mike Walpert. I am this year's current president of the HOA board, a distinction which is achieved by being the one willing to do it, because there is there's not a tremendous amount of work to be done. It's all kind of fun. We have a small, compact board of volunteers, and we're looking to grow a little bit more as our community grows and changes, and we're adding quite a few people every year. Carol will talk a little bit about that later. It seems we're averaging some great growth. So I'd like to start by introducing the board. And the best way to introduce the board in a reasonable way is probably to highlight them so everyone can see. And theoretically, that shows Ken Olshansky, our newest and fabulous a new neighbor, sort of, and then also a new board member. So Ken, introduce yourself. We'll begin by
make it quick. My wife and I, Karen, moved here a little over a year ago, and subsequently became involved with the board, which I'm totally enjoying, and meeting a new neighbor. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ken. And a new recent fan favorite, Jessie, has joined us. Also a sort of a new neighbor. She's working on some very dramatic lighting for her office, which is nice. Hello, Jessie. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm 12 Lagoon Place, moved in a year ago in October. Happy to be a member of the board. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you. I kind of love to start with a spotlight for some new folks. And Larry Andow, on the other hand, is one of the longer-term board members, and our fine treasurer, who is in charge of stewarding the money and has done an excellent job for many years. Hello, Larry.
Good morning. I'm at the end of Riviera Drive, across from the small park, and we have been here almost 30 years now. So yeah, we've raised a family. We're basically retired now, and continue to want to serve and be involved in the community. So that's why I'm on the board.
Fantastic. Thank you, Larry. And from other neighbors, we hear Larry and his wife are a charming couple and have smart kids, which is what we all say about each other, which is pretty nice. Kimberly Arnold is a member of the board who has started us and continued on with the CARES program, which is a super valuable program of the HOA that connects people in advance of an emergency, so that in times of an emergency, everybody gets some support. And I'll let her introduce herself and say hello.
Good morning. I'm on 67 San Marino Drive, and in February I will have been here for 11 years. So happy to see you all.
Wow. Thank you. And thank you for your, it's been a lot of work starting that program up. And Remy, good news. Hello, everybody. Let's say hello to Remy Schuler, also a long-standing member of the board for quite some years, more than me now. So nice to see you.
2017. Yeah, member of the board since 2017. Lived here since 2012 in the house that my husband has lived in since 1985. So yeah, we've been around a while. And yeah, hi, I'm Remy. I don't know.
Hi, Remy. Nice to see you. And for those who know Carl, he is much better, much more well-behaved now than he was in 1985, if you remember him as a younger kid running around the neighborhood. Oh, and good news about Dariush Davidi, a local guy who has started on our board and has leveraged his position on our board to fame with the Chamber of Commerce, a growing business in San Rafael. And we affectionately call him the date guy, not because of Tinder, but because of Dariush. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I should make you my PR manager. Good morning, everyone. Dariush, I live on the house here in Riviera Manor with all the oversized menorah and Hanukkah decorations. My business is in dried fruits and nuts. So when he was saying dates, that's one of my top items that we do. Really excited and fortunate to live in this neighborhood and community, lived in several neighborhoods. I've been here for over 5 years by far. I really enjoy living here and really looking forward to, keeping it growing and elevating it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And Care Fellows is a member of the board who is in charge of or works with Rosalie Weigel. I will introduce Rosalie Weigel right now in advance of this. Unfortunately, she can't be with us. This is the first board meeting she's missed in a decade. She is in London, as she would like me to point out, not on vacation, but handling some family business and still on duty. So she works with Care Fellows, though, as the Architectural Review Committee, and Care does all the Welcome Committee work. And I would like to introduce the ever elegant Care Fellows.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I've been in Peacock Gap about 3 years, so relatively recent transplant. I love it here. I'm up on Fernwood. Joined the board to help grow our community and connect neighbors together. Something that we've been doing as part of the Welcome Committee and with all of our events. And looking forward to continuing that.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. And I think last but not least, and I hope I'm not missing anybody, John Harrison is, on the board, there's always one guy who's willing to do everything when nobody else really wants to get around to do it. John is that guy. He serves as our secretary. He keeps the notes. He makes sure we're within, John makes sure we color within the lines, which is not always easy with me. So thank you, John, and hello.
Yeah, good morning. So my wife Bonnie and I moved to Peacock Gap in 2018, and I joined the board that year and was particularly interested in helping restore the water quality of the lagoon. And thanks to the efforts of one of our neighbors, Sean Barron, who was very generous in stepping forward to fund and promote the cleanup of the lagoon, which he did a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago. It's been very successful, but I've enjoyed the time on the board. Retired in 2019 and just really enjoying this neighborhood. We just added a room to our house. That's one I'm in right now. So anyway, it's great to be in this neighborhood. We're right next to Jesse, by the way. Our house is just next door to Jesse, so 8 Lagoon Place.
Perfect. Thanks. Appreciate that, John. I just want to introduce the board so everyone gets to feel we have long-term residents working, volunteering to, help make the community a little bit better, long-term, short-term. But I would be remiss if I didn't also introduce a man who has served Peacock Gap for 30 years, I think is maybe even an understatement. But it is a huge benefit when you live in a community and you serve as part of the homeowners association to have institutional knowledge, historical knowledge, and be able to talk to people like Rosalie, who've been around for a very long time and have very deep roots, and also people like Leo Isotolo, who has been a member of the HOA, has served on the board, has served as president, I think, longer than any sane person should do. So at least, Leo, you don't have to introduce yourself if you don't want, but I'd love it if you said hello.
You just described what old men do when when they don't have anything else to do. I've enjoyed being part of this organization for a long time. I'm now in the role of I'm watching you to make sure you're successful with all that the previous boards have attempted. In some cases, were successful in completing. So I'm on 90 Peacock Drive if you're interested. So
there you go. Thank you, Leo, and welcome everybody else. I will share a little presentation here this morning, and I have to say regarding Leo and the other past board members, they take great pride in what they have handed to us as a community, and when we veer from course, we get a course correction. But man, when we do it right, that little bit of applause goes a long way. So I really appreciate that, Leo. Let's see if we can't share the screen. I think we're seeing everybody now. I just give you a quick look at what we're going to cover kind of rapidly today, and take some questions and feedback at the end. We've already done the introductions. We'll talk a little bit about the median restoration in the neighborhood, which has been the major project for several years, and we finished it up, and it's growing in place this year. Talk about some get-togethers, community parties, give you an update about the park situation, fire station roads. We'll talk about some security concerns and plans. We have a renewal of the CC&Rs, the community covenants and restrictions, which is basically the set of documents that governs how the HOA works. Time for an update of those after many, many years, and that'll be the major project for 2024. Larry will check in on the financials. We have a lot of effort has gone into the new website. Most of that effort pretty much is from Jesse, who built it from scratch. So we appreciate that, and give a look. We'll check in on the Architectural Review Committee and the CARES program. So we've met the board. One of the great opportunities for people who are interested in being more of a part of the community as part of the HOA, don't have to be on the board. We have committees that do events. We have committees that look at different projects. We have a committee that looks at talking with the city and county when there are planning issues that come up of. So, but I think the most noticeable change over the past year has been the replacement of the medians. We managed to keep all of the old growth trees, most of them olive trees. After years of planning and years of saving, we were able to contract with Rayner Landscaping to an Alvarado. Michael Alvarado is a designer, and they came up with, after quite a bit of work and discussion, making sure everyone had some buy-in, they came up with a design and a plan that I think looks terrific now. We've had great feedback, and will grow in over the next few years to be extraordinary. It is a 10-year plan that this new installation will grow and flourish for the next decade, and so pretty excited about that. And here is our ribbon cutting. Not that we want to acknowledge Leo too much today, but there's Leo Isotolo in the middle, and most of the board gathered around as a kind of a fun day. So we've done some community events, and I'd love to have Kimberly or Kara share a little bit, or somebody step in and tell us a little bit about what went into the party and the barbecue and stuff like that. Kimberly, would you like to pick that up?
Sure, I'm happy to. So we were really excited to have our 60th anniversary party back in October. Earlier in May, we had a barbecue. And, I think really what's been fabulous about this is really getting neighbors a chance to come and connect. And I'll say with the help of Jesse, we really up-leveled our 60th anniversary celebration. So had some really lovely catered food and refreshments. And I know in the past, Dariush has done a lot at the barbecue to get the fire department here to make that a fun event for kids. So we really are looking to appeal to the whole range of our neighbors when we have these events. We welcome any ideas that you have about other ways that we want to gather and celebrate living in this beautiful place.
Thank you. Yeah, we've done a few parties and get-togethers over the past few years, and I have to say, Dariush and I at one point were making sausages and handing them out on buns, and that was kind of fun. And when Jesse, Karen, Kimberly, and Remy kind of took the reins, and Rosalie took the reins over this one, I have to notice that the level of decorations and food quality went through the roof. Behind the group there, you see a semi-completed balloon arch, and I think any party that has a balloon arch at it is worth attending. So thank you for that, and thanks to everybody who came. We have also some news on the park. John and others have been talking with the city in back and forth for years about how to get the improvements done to the park. It has not been super high on the budgetary list at the city, and that has changed. So I'd like to turn it over to John. And John, tell us a little bit about what's happening with the park and what may happen here going forward.
Thanks, Mike. So as Mike said, the HOA has been interested in promoting the rejuvenation, restoration improvements in the Peacock Gap Park. Those of you who've been there realize that the playground equipment is aged and is deteriorating, and it really needs a new face. So fortunately, the city completed a master planning effort about a year ago, and they identified Peacock Gap Park as a near-term high-priority park project, which is great news because that means it's coming to the top of the heap in terms of getting funding. Larry Andow and I attended City Parks and Rec meeting, expressed our interest in being involved in the review and helping the city get feedback. And the city's been very responsive, been very interested in working with us. They issued a architectural engineering design services request for proposal in October of this year. They've selected a firm, Royston, Hanamoto, Alley and Abbey, RHAA. It's of Mill Valley, as a design consultant. And the city council is going to vote on Monday, this coming Monday, to award a $130,000 design contract to them, and we'll be working with them as they develop their design to give them feedback. And we're really looking forward to this project. Should be done in about a year.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a great central part of the neighborhood, and it's the city does have budget constraints, but it's nice to see some being reinvested in our neighborhood. And let me hang on a second here. There we go. I would there's been quite a few board members involved in this. We've all been involved in this. I'll give a quick recap. The fire station, when they began the renovation some years ago, or it might have only been 2, but it seems like more. They closed down, as everyone knows, one of the lanes heading into town. And there was some talk that was promised to be temporary. It was promised to be removed by the end of this year after the completion of the construction. And then there was some talk about leaving it closed permanently. This came from, from the city, that it might be better to leave the lane closed permanently because a few neighbors thought that there was too much speeding on Point San Pedro Road. Ultimately, the feedback from the community that is most affected, because this is just between us and Glenwood, so Glenwood sort of has free passage. The polling and conversations and feedback from the neighborhood very strong that we wanted all the lanes open. And after some conversations with the mayor, who is pretty convinced there's a lot of speeding going on, and there is some speeding going on, I suppose, it turns out that the city government is actually quite responsive. They did change the plan after a meeting from the Point San Pedro Road Coalition, where they heard and listened to neighbors. And these are some aerials of the newly reopened Point San Pedro Road. So I just think that a lot of times we get irritated at the city and complain. And so I made a point to thank April Miller, who's our DPW director, and Mary Beth Bushy, who, if she if I gave her the right sign-on codes and everything, our city council member, Mary Beth Bushy, will be joining us here towards the end of the presentation to share some other thoughts on the city. So certainly we've had enough talking from me. We'll have to come back to Mary Beth Bushy. John, actually, Dariush has been pretty involved in the security part. Dariush, would you give us a couple of quick thoughts on neighborhood security, and then I can fill in the blanks. This is kind of new information here from the sheriff's department. So I'll just talk about this. The sheriff's department has received permission, I guess, from the Board of County Supervisors to install a half a dozen license plate readers around the county. So this isn't a city, it's not on city land, it's on county land. Conversations with the sheriff right now in the planning stages, this license plate readers will be sort of around the yacht club at Summit. Probably in the middle lane, that has to be all determined. The money's coming out of the sheriff's department budget, and the security is if there's a robbery, a burglary, a crime, they can review that time frame on the on the cameras and see who was in the neighborhood. There are upside and downside to this. I'm just reporting the decisions that have been made well above my pay grade. But there are some other thoughts about neighborhood security that Dariush has been involved in, and maybe I can get you to talk about that a little bit for just a moment.
Sure. I think, Mike, you did a great job explaining the license plate readers. I was recently appointed, I should add, to the Police Advisory and Accountability Committee for San Rafael. And speaking with Police Chief, they've had few of these license plate readers in the hotspots, they call them, and they've been very effective. Kind of a pilot program. And just like how Mike said, they're looking to extend this into different neighborhoods. From what I've seen, they seem to be very effective. It just reads license plates, gives a signal to the police car if a car has been stolen. And so it seems to be very effective. So, it's something that the city has decided. So we're excited to see how far we can continue to kind of, see where it goes. Other security issues, I think that, there's a lot of activity that we hear, but, we have a close relationship with our police department. So we're looking to see how effective these license plate readers can help prevent these crimes.
Yeah. And we're all aware of, threats to security. On average, we actually live in the safest, lowest crime neighborhood, certainly in the city, and one of in the entire county. So we all want to be vigilant. And at the end of the day, we live in a great place. And this will ensure, I hope, that it continues to stay that way. Any feedback regarding security issues or ideas on this should be directed to our county supervisor, who is Mary Sackett, and a terrific person. She worked for Damon Connolly for many years, and so she's very well versed in matters of the county. So we have, I believe, very good representation here. So thanks, Dariush. And this is Ken and I can, or I seem to be stuttering a little bit here because I didn't do excellent planning about who is going to talk about what. So I'm going to ask Ken to drop in here, but just to give a little bit of a background, the CC&Rs are the community covenants and restrictions. They are the governing documents of our community. They talk about, stuff in the communal area, down to the nitty gritty of, what color palette should the houses be painted. And we're not the kind of HOA that enforces minuscule little regulations, and we don't have anyone that walks around giving any fines out for people that don't do that. We have no mechanism for that nonsense at all. As an HOA board, as an HOA, our entire function is to bring the community together, bring homeowners together, to have discussions. And when there are changes, there's some architectural review, of course, but our main goal is not to be enforcers, but to be communicators. And so far that works pretty well. There is going to be, there has been a revision, an updating of the CC&Rs. If we were to stick to the color codes of days of yore, all of our houses would still be painted in earth tones because the original documents were written in 1960. And then, as you see, I think this set was finalized in the early 60s. So given that, there's been a lot of planning for a lot of years, how we refine this next, how we update these documents. So that's an ongoing project. It's our major focus this year. And it takes some, it takes a group. So Ken Olshansky is the board's very involved in this, but Ken is sort of leading the initial effort to really make a and B comparison so we can really educate the community about how we're looking to move forward. And we welcome more input, more people into this. It's a committee of the board. And Ken, I said I wanted to introduce you. Maybe I should stop talking and do that. Ken Olshansky, a new board member, but very willing to get into the nitty gritty of this sort of thing. And he's, so Ken, anything to add to that? Sorry.
Just that it'll be a ongoing process, and we'll try to keep it very transparent, give drafts out so people can give feedback before the final draft is presented to the association.
Right. And we do not seek, because we all live here too, we do not seek to limit very much at all. We seek to have communication, congruity, and that's sort of the whole focus with the barbecues that we do, is bringing people together. We all noticed during COVID that, oh, we have more neighbors than we thought around here because everyone's kind of coming out of their house, and we're looking to continue that. And we also have this is where the institutional knowledge comes in. We've had great input from former presidents and board members, and I am sure that will continue. So it's been invaluable. Anyone else like to add anything to that? Awesome.
Mike, I'll just jump in for a moment to say, I think because we've heard a lot of different feedback from neighbors around the CC&Rs and the update of these. And really our focus is on, as Mike said, to keep Peacock Gap a place that we all love to live, to simplify. So we really, I think what you can see in the summary today are things that we're doing specifically as an HOA board to make this an enjoyable, safe place to live. And that's really our focus, to continue that.
Yeah, exactly. And, we all use the internet, and some of us unfortunately use Facebook. We see all the jokes about the Karens on the HOA boards and all that. And I am proud to be a part of a board that has, in the 6 years I've been around, never taken any kind of punitive action against anybody. Our whole goal is to help folks get along and to make the neighborhood better. And when I first drove in here shopping for houses, I noticed the medians and I thought everything looked really great. I thought this looked really great. And now I do believe it all looks really greater. So I think we're on the right path. We'll be having a series of discussions over the coming year, and everybody is invited for their input and encouraged. So thank you for that. Let's see about this whole change in the Zooms. And if now's an appropriate time, Larry Andow has, as I mentioned, our treasurer, stewards our money quite well, and we have all of our the budgets and financial reporting is posted on the website, updated every month. And Larry's going to give a little bit of a recap and tell us where we are and where we're headed. Larry.
Good morning. I would like to share my screen if I can, Mike, so I can show.
I think that's fine. I'll stop, which should
Okay.
allow you to start.
And let's see if I can get this up here or not. Why am I not seeing this?
Did we make Larry a co-host?
I have made Larry a co-host.
So I'm looking for my desktop here and I am not seeing it. Hang on. Oh. And that, can you see that at all? No?
Not yet. If you
Okay, hang on a sec. Let me see if this does it.
Did you go into share screen, Larry?
Yep. Hang on 1 second. Open. Whoops. All right. I cannot get to that apparently because
okay.
I'd have to leave the meeting and come back. Is what it
Okay.
said.
Well,
do you want to
then
do that or do you want to just walk through it?
I think we could probably just walk through it. Give the highlights and any particulars. If you know,
Yeah.
all the details are available on our website, and we'll be talking about the website in another slide or two. So we'll hopefully be able to close that loop. But if you just give us the highlights, that would be awesome.
I apologize again for not having this available to show you from my screen. Really this year, and I think it reflects what Mike has talked about throughout the meeting, the HOA over the years has identified in particular the medians as a need to refurbish those 5 or 6 medians that we have here. And we've never had quite the money to do it, so we have been saving a little bit each year to do that, and we finally came up with enough money this year to do that. Know that the medians are not owned by the HOA, but rather the city. However, as with the entire area on the medians on Point San Pedro, the city has decided that it does not have the funds to maintain any of those medians. So it has been up to the homeowners along San Pedro, as well as us here in Peacock Gap, to maintain the medians ourselves. And as we got estimates of what it would cost to do that, it was going to be clear that it was going to be north of $100,000 to do that. Again, we thought it was an important project to take on because really it is kind of the front door to the community as people come in. And we want to make that as pleasant and as attractive as we could. So we waited until we could raise enough funds. And this year we spent $140,000 to redo the medians. It was in the budget for this year. So we were very cognizant of what we were going to spend this year. We came in a little higher than expected. And the end, what that did is we started out the year with, hold it here, with about 150,000 in cash on hand. Again, we spent about 140 for the medians. We also continued to save a little bit. So at the end of the year, we are going to be running about $25,000 in cash. The largest project for next year will probably be, from a budget standpoint, the CC&Rs. As some of you who have been here a while know, we have always made sure that we've had a third party to watch over any CC&R changes that we have made. We've made sure that we've had legal counsel as well to make sure that we're doing everything the right way. And so we have budgeted about $15,000 for next year to refresh the CC&Rs, which again, as Mike has said, the CC&Rs were written in the early 60s. So there is just a ton of language in there that no longer meets the needs of what we have today in terms of a well-established, long-standing community. So with that, we have proposed a basically break-even budget for next year. So again, I expect that we will be around 25,000 at the end of this year, which is the end of December. And we are going to shoot for that same amount at the end of 2024. You know, the best thing I can do right now is, and again, it's on our website, but it's not going to focus. I would urge everyone who has an interest to please review that. If you have any questions, I'm around and would be happy to go over any of the line items, any of the issues that you might have about how we account for your dollars. The other thing I will mention is some of you are new to this HOA is that all of our accounting and billing goes through a third party that is up in Santa Rosa. Eugene Berger is the one that we've been using. They've recently merged with another another accountant, and we will be switching over to them in the new year. But know that all of your dollars that you send in, as well as all of the dollars that we spend, have to go through them. We don't have our own checking account for which any of us have access to directly. So I think those are the highlights I'd like to make on the financials. And again, open to questions at the end of our meeting, or even after that. We're available really anytime to answer questions. Mike, back to you.
That's great. Thanks, Larry. I think you make some excellent and important points. One of which I've always found to be crucial is the stewardship of the money. So in order for money to be spent by and for the HOA, Larry has to authorize it. Somebody else has to be on the authorization. Usually that's me or somebody else. So two people send a request to the management company. The management company then writes the check. So there's a lot of eyes and hands on the money. So I've always thought that that's super important. And Larry's done an excellent job of making sure that we have reasonable reserves. And because of that, we're able to do this great project last year and a critical project in our future coming up. So we are big on making sure we have enough professional advice when we do this sort of thing. So thank you, Larry. And in the world of fabulous technology, we have struggled for some years. Remy and I pulled our hair out for a while trying to get a good website. And then Jessie joined the board, and we found out she was, had some experience in the world of marketing, a little dibble dabble here as the chief marketing officer of a Fortune 500 company, international global concern. Not a big deal. Jessie took over the website and has done great work. And I would just love it if you shared some of the updates and how it works, and get a round of applause for your efforts. I appreciate that.
Thanks. Mike did promote me. I am not CEO of Intuit, but I'm vice president. But thank you. I appreciate the vote of confidence.
You got a good future. You got a good future.
Thank you. Please take time to go and visit the website. We've added a lot of great content, some fun stuff about our history. We put up the photos and videos after we have events so that you can see what we have done as well as what we're going to do. And also we've been trying to keep up with what's happening in San Rafael in the general area and add events that we think would be of interest to the broader community to a calendar that's there. So things like the movies in the park and things like that. So our hope is that the website is not just useful in terms of asking for a review of your architectural plans from the committee or signing up for other things or sending notes to us, but also could be a resource for you to get the most out of our wonderful neighborhood. We are always willing to have you all share types of things that you would like to see on the website, including events that you think we should probably we should add. And then as part of that, you can also sign up to be part of our newsletter. We keep it, or our email list. We don't send too many emails, but you do get emails from me now and again, or us, excuse me, to let you know of events that are coming or things that are changing, like letting everybody know about today's meeting. So again, happy to take recommendations or suggestions, and it links to also some places like our the next door community that Dariush so kindly helps make sure it stays updated. And we're just trying to make sure that there's an easy place for all of us to go to understand what's going on. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jesse. And yeah, there's a next door group, which is, it's on next door. So you got that going for you. But it is a good way to get information quickly when necessary. And I think we have, if I can just scan through here. Hey, good news. Mary Beth Bushy is on the phone. I don't think she's on our she's pardon me here. Mary Beth Bushy is on the phone, so I'd like to introduce her. And since Mary Beth, can you hear us here? Are you live there? Mary Beth Bushy, hello. Let me make sure I haven't muted her. That would be really bad manners. Maybe she's muted herself. We are I think we're doing okay here. Mary Beth, if you can hear me, I'm not getting any audio from you. So maybe I will just reintroduce you, and if you can get it going, then you'll just chime in. I'm
Mike,
big.
can she zoom in?
She's between meetings.
Okay.
They apparently, when you run for city office, city stuff goes on 7 days a week, and so I'm glad I found that out before I attempted any run for any city office. I think she's going to try to log back on.
Mike, do you want me to just add some stuff just while we're waiting for Mary Beth?
Yes, good news. Doing a little fill here regarding city stuff is involved in city stuff. Dariush Davidi.
Yes, we also have a direct relationship with Station 55, that little station that's right at the corner. I meet with them, through the year, and they've been really amazing, and we are in touch with them, and they still have the smoker we gave them a few years ago, and they love using it for the holidays, the gift that they got. So I just want to also add that we have direct connection with our fire station here locally. All right, I think Mary Beth is back on with us.
I hope, can you hear me?
We can indeed. Thank goodness you're live. I was about to start making stuff up about wonderful Mary Beth Bushy, our council member. Hello, Mary Beth.
Hi. I have audio but not video. Is that right?
That is correct.
I'm coming to you live. Well, maybe let's just do this. I'm coming to you live from downtown San Rafael. I'm from my car office. And using Zoom on the phone, which I'm happy that I was able to at least get this far. So there we are. So update from City Hall. Let's see. I think the fire station, I just want to remind everyone, the fire station was a 10-year project. The money for that project was approved the first year I was elected, 2013. So just to put that in context. So that's a big long-term win citywide. Let's see, other things that we're doing, of course, the library. I'm the city council liaison to the library foundation, and the leader, as I'm sure you've read in the IJ, on the foundation's project to bring a ballot measure forward next year is underway. So that's sort of the next in line in big infrastructure improvements in the city. So we're very excited about the possibility of that and the important role that the foundation is having. So that's a big win. We've had a lot of personnel changes. We're very excited. We have a new city manager, Christina Lovich. Many of you know her. She was the assistant city manager for 8 years. So we advanced her onto city manager job. She has hired 2 new assistant city managers that are dividing up the duties so that we have high level management input on the different aspects of city operations. Particularly this upcoming year, we have negotiations with all of our unions over our employees, employment contracts, primarily wages and benefits. And so we're well positioned with expertise to lead those negotiations. And right now, actually, what is the biggest drain on, I think, morale and city resources is our ongoing encampment problem in San Rafael. We've got our police officers, SWAT trained officers on a team. We've got the SAFE team, SAFE, what does SAFE stand for? For everyone, I know the F is for everyone.
You can tell us just a little bit about the purpose of SAFE, because I can't remember either.
Yeah, the purpose of SAFE is to provide assistance to people that do not require first responders, do not require police officers, do not require firefighters, but require assistance primarily to relatively minor psychiatric issues that people need help getting into programs, getting access to services to help them. So
council member, the SAFE, if you want to, it stands for the Specialized Assistant for Everyone. That's what.
There we go. Specialized Assistant for Everyone. Yes. So it's to get the assistance to the people that need assistance but don't require a full-fledged first responder, police officer, or a firefighter. So that's we started that program this year, big program, and they're being called on a lot as a result of the encampment problem that we have. We're working with the schools, we're working with anyone who has anything positive to help. And our staff has been just incredibly creative and innovative in coming up with ways to mitigate this issue in San Rafael. And our city attorney and our legal team, they're in federal court almost every week we're pushing the edge of trying to do as much as we can to help these people get off the street, get into programs, and get into housing. So that's the high level. We're looking forward to an exciting year next year. But the most important thing that I must talk about tonight is the Lighted Boat Parade, 6 p.m. Starting from Loch Lomond, going up the canal. We usually make a couple of laps, and so highly recommend everyone to get out and see it. In my opinion, the best place to see it is from behind Montecito or from behind that gray building that's just on the other side of Montecito overflow parking. They have a great big deck there. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Excellent. I think, Mary Beth, you have given a great description. One of the things I'm really excited about watching the work come out of City Hall is as we refine policing in our town, the programs like SAFE and other outreach programs. Lynn Murphy is a psychologist that's on the force, or certainly a social worker at least. And the idea that we don't need to send a badge and a gun and a SWAT vehicle to every single disturbance or situation, where we can send people the help they need is really refreshing. I think that the police department was under great leadership under Diana Bishop, and it continues to this day. There have been some very notable hiccups. I think we're all aware of those, as in any organization, but at least there are active steps being taken towards making all of that better and making our city more sustainable. So hats off to Mary Beth. And again, she wasn't here earlier when I acknowledged what a pleasure it is to have city government be responsive to neighbors' feedback and concerns, in the most latest case vis-a-vis the lane closures by the fire station. So thanks again to Mary Beth, our fabulous mayor, and April Miller, who's the Department of Public Works chief. And if anyone, Mary Beth is extremely available by email, but if anyone would like to have a question for her right now, I will look for a raised hand. I'm not seeing it. I hope I'm not missing anybody. But please know that when I talk to either Mary Beth or Mayor Kate, they gauge constituent sentiment often in what they hear from constituents, which means emails go a long way. So it doesn't do any good to gripe on Facebook about the city. It does a lot of good to send our city folks an email. Dariush, I'll turn it over to you, and then we'll thank Mary Beth.
Yeah, speaking of thank you, I just want to say thank you to Council Member Mary Beth. The feedback that we get from the majority of the people that emailed you were saying you and Mayor Keith were both very responsive and very quick to answer their questions and, address the issue in regards with the reopening the lanes. So just wanted to say again, thanks for being so responsive. And I know you have a busy schedule, but thanks for, answering everyone's questions.
Well, you're very welcome. And I want to end by reminding everyone, which is what I probably should have started with, subscribe to Snapshot. That's the city manager's bi-weekly, is that every other week, newsletter that keeps you up to date on everything that's going on in the city. So subscribe to Snapshot. It's on the city's website. And to the extent that you want things done, I'm happy to talk to you, but the important people are people like Director Miller and other people in the city that actually do things. So I highly recommend the fastest way to get action is to go to the city's website, find the department that you need answers or action by, and open a ticket with that department. We have an online ticketing system that you can direct your request to a particular department. It goes into a queue, and that queue is answered in the order it received, and it stays there. So they get a report of all these open tickets. So I highly recommend using that system on the website first, because that will take you directly into the people that can solve your problems. I'm happy to talk to people, but I actually don't drive a truck around the city and do things. So it's better to talk to the actual doers. Yeah, and I will. I guess I'm closing on two things, but I want to thank you, everyone who's on the homeowners board. I was there for years. I know how thankless that job is, and I'm very proud of you stepping up to the line to get out for another vote on the CCNRs. I went through those, went door to door getting votes. So I know what that involves. So thank you for having the presence of mind to keep that process going forward. And stay in touch. Always happy to help.
Thank you, Mary Beth. I really appreciate you coming on, and appreciate your service. It is a mixed bag being an elected official, and I hope I didn't oversell the call Mary Beth with every little Bubba Misa problem you have. That is not the way, but I just wanted to acknowledge in any way I could. We love to complain about City Hall. I'm a little short of complaints about City Hall, so that's good news. So thanks
All right.
again.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
And speaking about good news and stuff like that, the Architectural Review Committee has a unique function with helping people get things done in the easiest manner. And CARE Fellows has taken an extremely active role in that, and I will turn it over to her to tell you more about how that operates and how we're continuing to streamline the process.
Yes, thank you, Mike. So we're coming up on the hour, so I'll be brief, but the Architectural Review's been a part of the foundation of Peacock Gap HOA, ensuring that our homes and the general look and feel of the community stays at the highest caliber that we're all looking for. That said, we're very community driven. We want to make sure that neighbors are talking to one another and supportive of changes that people are making in each other's homes. Vastly, everyone's trying to improve their homes in ways that are good for the community, good for our property values, but just checking in, making sure that we're not going to run into anything with the city approval or anything between neighbors in the future is an important component of architectural review. Our goals in the last year have been really digitizing this process to ensure that we're timely, that whenever things come up, we can meet with homeowners if necessary. For the most part, just review things remotely and get back to you so that you feel comfortable moving forward with your home improvements. The guidelines are on the website, and the website form is active. And we look forward to assisting anyone that may need a review in the future in 2024. I think we can move to the next slide, Mike, because I'm going to speak on the Welcome Committee as well.
Sure.
So the Welcome Committee it has really been in full force for the last 3 years. We've been intermittent before that. This was an important part of the welcoming of new community members. So we saw a lot of home turnover with the interest rates being low and people changing homes in 2021, 2022, less so in 2023, but we've continued to welcome, I'd say on average around 20 up to 25 new homeowners per year. It's a good way to meet and welcome individuals to our community. And it's something that I really wanted to be part of coming in as a new resident of the community, especially during the COVID times and not knowing very many people out here. It's been an excellent way to welcome new homeowners and families, share your resources, and also just connect. And it helps us to connect homeowners that might want to be involved in other things in the Peacock Gap HOA, including programs like the CARES Committee. So we've used this as a touch point, a welcoming moment to our neighbors that live close by or anywhere across our 427 homes. So we've welcomed now about 75 since we formally started the Welcome Committee in 2021. And it's something that we always welcome others' participation. You don't necessarily have to be on the board to assist with this. And it's a great way to get involved in the HOA.
It is indeed. Perfect. Thank you, Care. It was actually what I wanted to be a part of when I first moved in to Peacock Gap. And here we are, as Mary Beth says, it's a slippery slope. You get on the HOA, then she went to the school board. Next thing you know, she's on the city commission for 12 years. So it's a fine group. Another big program of the past few years has been the CARES program. Larry Andow began by putting together an excellent database. Kimberly Arnold has been leading the charge, bringing people into the program. And there's a lot of information about this on the website, but I'd love for Kimberly just to give us a little thumbnail of how it works and where the opportunity to be a part of it is.
Sure. Thanks, Mike. So Larry has definitely been the backbone of this program. I would say we did a survey. Okay, Larry, I'm going to guess it was 2018 2018, 19, I'm not sure, when we sort of surveyed homeowners about their disaster preparedness. And what we got at that time was that over about 25% of the respondent homes said they would need help if we had an emergency. And the good news was that 75% of the people said they were willing to help. And so I think that gave Larry a good prompt to go down the path of helping create what we call pods, which is really just groups of homes where we have one or two homes that say, I'm going to help look out for these handful of neighbors. And inside of looking out for that handful of neighbors, if there was an emergency, we would know if they had any particular medical needs or, things that needed to come with them if we suddenly had to evacuate. We have had some extended power outages out here. We are fortunate that we've not had any other emergencies that we had to navigate together. But this is a collaboration now with the welcoming committee. So we have given folks information about the CARES program when they came to the HOA. And I think that's how Ken actually got involved. He was one of our new homeowners who came in and said, I'm going to organize my neighbors. And so they created a whole new pod through the CARES committee. So collectively, we help get you a little map of the homes. We'll give you cards to collect information. We'll give you a brochure of how it works. So this is really a village. I would say Ken, Larry, and I are all still pretty active in it, in moving it along. So if you are interested, you can go to the website. But really, it's taking a stand for us as a community that we really are wanting to pay attention and be responsible for everyone's safety. And I think it's been really heartwarming to see these groups form and have neighbors who maybe are aging on their own know that somebody else is looking out for them. It really makes a difference. So thank you to everybody who's been involved. I want to say we have, Larry, maybe you know this number. I want to say we have at least about a third maybe of the homes and pods now. Does that sound about right to you? You're nodding. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so we always welcome any other homes that want to either be a pod leader or participate in a pod. We want to do what we can to help get you connected.
Perfect. That's great. It's a wonderful part of what we do as an HOA. Kimberly, thank you for really an enormous effort into getting this going. And quite frankly, it's not an effort that's going to pay off until we have a problem. So hopefully it doesn't ever pay off. But that big payoff when there's a disaster and that sort of rescue stuff comes into play is the secondary goal. The real near-term wonderful effect of the Peacock Gap Cares program is that more neighbors know each other, have each other's phone numbers, and I, through this program, have come to know more of my close neighbors. And that way, when there's a problem, it's a lot easier to ask for help, get help, offer help. And it also just builds a super strong community that's safer and more fun. So Kimberly's and Larry, this has really been great. Thank you. This is, who would like to talk about this? Who hasn't had a chance to talk because I've been shooting my mouth all morning here? Then I'm going to say, this is how we keep in touch with the HOA. We do like to collect email and contact info, and we don't like to email people too often. There's a big discussion. Should we use the email? Should we not? We use the email exclusively for disaster prep and HOA business meeting, stuff that we need people to know about. That's it. Never a solicitation. We never share your address with anybody. So that is where we are. And I hope this presentation, everybody put effort into it. I hope it's been useful to folks joining us live and folks watching in the future. And any ideas that come, we would love to hear. And if anyone has questions now that we might answer, I'd love to see if I can arrange everybody so I can see hands being raised. Happy to take a couple questions or.
I see Dan's got a hand.
Oh, hi,
raised.
Dan. Dan Dodd, everybody. Hi, Dan.
Hey, everybody. Me and my husband moved in about 2 years ago now. It's just a little over 2 years ago. We're up at 81 San Marino. So we are really happy to be here. And thanks for all your hard work. We really appreciate the work you're doing on our behalf, all you board members. We know how hard that work is. Are you going to share this deck by chance? Because I see some places like links where we can add our email address. We just want to make sure that we're connected. We'll also join the CARES program. I just went to the website and saw where to do that. So just wanted to see if the deck would be shared because there were some links in there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get a copy of this
On the website.
on the website, and Jesse, I don't know why I'm trying to answer this question.
I'll get it up by the end of the day, and then we also take this this video of the actual meeting that you can then watch and replay as well. But yes, and almost everything in there, if you kind of navigate around on the top, is available, and you can search as well. So if you don't want to wait for us to get it up on the website by the end of the day, please feel free. It's all of the links are already on, available in the navigation on the top.
Great, thanks everyone.
And if there's any nav communication, there is a little contact us link at the very bottom too. So all roads lead to triggering emails. So thanks, Dan, and welcome, and appreciate the kind words. So thank you very much. And good news, Karen, the neighbor that we knew from down the street before anyone ever met Ken, my wife would report back on, oh, a lovely new couple moved in, and her name is Karen. So Karen has her hand up, Karen Olshansky. Hi, Karen.
Hey, hi. I'm not the Karen that's the annoying kind of Karen.
No, the good Karen. You can see the halo.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody. The board has been fabulous. We were one of the recipients of the welcome committee, and that was great. We love that. The website is beautiful. So thank you, Jesse. And the parties have been great. I've loved it. And we have had it, it has helped us feel integrated into the community, which we love, and we love being here. So thank you all. We really appreciate it. One comment, I know that you don't want to abuse email, and I appreciate that. But have you advertised at all the website? If so, I have unfortunately missed it. It's so great. And I didn't personally get a notice of this meeting, and except that Kenny told me about it. So maybe I missed it in my email, but I would love for you guys to advertise a little bit more. I think you're being very careful, which I appreciate, but I would like to know more about the guidelines as you develop them. And I think I know you have a policy of not harassing neighbors or insisting on things or finding people, which I think is great. But I think people should know what the expectations are, so at least they know that there are guidelines, because I don't know, maybe some people don't know it. So anyway, I just thought I would say that. And again, thank you all so much.
Thank you, Karen. That's an excellent point. Yes. Sorry,
Sure,
Jesse.
Karen, let's make sure that we have the right email address for you in our system. Maybe we do not.
Okay.
And if you filled out, I happen to have them in my desk, but if you filled out one of these in the last event, it has been challenging to read everybody in writing. So
No.
I that figured your email, if that's the only way that we got it. So let's please, if you go to the website and you fill out any form, it actually pretty much puts your name into the system. So you can sign up for the newsletter at the bottom, and then you will get it moving forward. They typically come with a little I put a peacock icon or a peacock emoji at the beginning of the subject, so it should help you be able to find it. But we did send out an email. We sent it out, I think, on Wednesday. So if you didn't get it, either went in your spam or we have the wrong email address for you.
Yeah, well, my handwriting isn't great, so.
Okay, so totally, we can fix that, no problem. But thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful website. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. It's that's a great prompt. I think that now the website is up and running. We might do a little old school promotion with a couple of A-frames at the entrances to let people know that it's going. The combination of old tech and ancient tech seems to work best.
Yeah.
So that's great. Thank you, Karen. And ordinarily it would be the doctor's handwriting that's illegible, but in this case, it's the doctor's wife's. Yeah, perfect.
And I didn't even catch it from him. I just, it came naturally.
Well, that's great. I think we've seen everybody here. I really appreciate I appreciate you coming and seeing the presentation live, and we are available through the website and really welcome. We all got here because somebody said, "Hey, would you like to be part of the HOA?" And we all said, I don't know. What do you do?" So hopefully we've given you a better idea of what we do, and it's we enjoy each other's company. We have a sense of accomplishment of getting some fun stuff done, and we are looking to increase our circle of friends. We have 2 open board seats, and we have some nominations, which we will be dealing with over the next week. And there's always room for more. So thanks to everybody. And if there are no final closing comments, I will wave enthusiasm.
Dan, did you put your hand up again?
Yeah,
Oh.
actually, one more. My husband Hero.
Hi, I'm Hero. Nice to meet you. So we moved in Peacock Gap 2 years ago. Then we were welcomed by the welcome committee. Right? There was the beginning of last year, our neighbors, Lois, she came and she welcomed us to this neighborhood, and we are so welcome, and we fell in love in this neighborhood. And we have dogs, we walk dogs every morning. So we see some neighbors, and we started connecting with our neighbors. And I thought a lot of our neighbors love like chatting or hanging out or even cocktails or happy hours. And I was thinking if I can involve the HOA for any community building committee or anything. And I saw that the letter was in nomination period ends this morning, and I didn't know that. So if I can still apply for that,
We'd love to have you.
You can absolutely be part of committees that for the socializing stuff, absolutely. And if you'd like to, it just closed at noon today for this year. So we'd love to have you join the board looking forward into January. It seems like a weird thing, but that's how the CCNRs work. So they're officially closed for 2 weeks, and then we'd love to, but we would absolutely love to have you involved in that. And the socialization and community building stuff is really well done, but mostly by Kimberly and Jesse and Rosalie when she's in town, and I'm sure they would be excited to have you join the ranks. So
when I was driving in PT San Pedro, I saw some soft cream gathering or some gathering at the Locromon HOA. And I was kind of jealous. Oh my God, they have some nice events. So
I'm sorry, I missed exactly what you said. There's someone at the door and the dogs are barking. Would you say that again for me?
So the Locromon HOA, they sometimes have some event, soft cream gathering or Halloween costume event. And sometimes I see the sign and they have a better socializing or the community. And then I think we should have something. So.
He wants to get involved.
Fantastic. We
We
welcome all the
love-
energy and ideas. Come on along.
100%.
What's the process for him in the next 2 weeks when it opens? How does he get involved? Does he just go on the website as well? Was that what'll happen?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Sure.
On the webpage that talked about today, at the bottom, there's a form that you can fill out. I'm also going to add it in other places, but at the bottom it says, please, I'll make sure to make it really easy to find. I promise.
Great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And Remy, his name is Hiroyuki. So I saw your note. She put this note here. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pamela. See your note.
You're
Nice to
welcome.
have you.
Okay, sorry for the chaos at my house. Great. I missed that last bit, but if there's anyone else who would like to share anything at all, we look forward to the coming year. And I appreciate everybody, and please get in touch. I'm available through the website, and thanks again. We'll see you all soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mike, do we log off and come back?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
And I would say if you want to now stop the recording or however you want to handle that.